So you pulled an Icarus and flew too close to the sun, except instead of the sun, it was a fiery nuclear explosion, one of many that were launched as part of the cataclysmic Great War. Except, astonishingly, you find yourself still alive. Granted, you're much uglier, but you're still alive. Welcome to Ghoulhood, my fellow necrotic friend. I hope you enjoy your time because eventually, both you and I could go through one of the worst experiences that anyone could think of. Welcome to 1000 Ways to Die in the Wastes. This is a series where we discuss in visceral PG-13 detail just how brutal the wasteland can be, even if the video games don't do it justice. In this episode, we'll be going over the haunting transformation that some ghouls will eventually have to go through. The slow and excruciating descent into madness, the process of turning feral. Turning feral is one of the worst ways to go. In addition to harsh environments, mutant creatures, and lawless bandits, the aftermath of the Great War created a new kind of human. Those who were not outright killed by an exposure to an excessive amount of radiation were instead changed by it. What were once typical humans were now decayed and damaged. They were ghouls. Physiologically, ghouls bear the unmistakable marks of their transformation. Their skin, once smooth and vibrant, now displays a ghastly complexion, discolored and mottled with shades of sickly green, gray, and pale yellow. The effects of radiation are evident as their skin appears scorched, peeling away in patches to reveal raw, exposed flesh underneath. Limbs become emaciated and skeletal, sometimes lacking the muscle mass and strength of their pre-ghoul state. The eyes of a ghoul are perhaps the most shocking. How does the saying go? Eyes are the windows to the soul or something like that? What were once your typical human eyes, vibrant and full of life, are now too decayed. Cloudy and dull orbs are all that's left behind. Their appearance shows the physical toll that radiation exacts, leaving them in a constant state of decay and deterioration. It is a truly haunting sight, a constant reminder of the price they unfortunately had paid for survival. The transformation from human to ghoul also brings about changes in their physiology that sets them apart from their unaffected counterparts. One such notable change is their increased resistance to radiation. Ghouls can tolerate doses of radiation that would prove lethal to an ordinary human, making them uniquely suited to navigate the irradiated wasteland. Their altered physiology also grants them an extraordinary lifespan. While ghouls do age, their decaying bodies undergo a slowed aging process. Centuries can pass, and they may still walk the earth, their bodies continuing to endure the ravages of time and radiation. Though this unnaturally prolonged existence often serves as a double-edged sword, as they are forced to witness the cyclical nature of devastation and rebuilding, experiencing a never-ending cycle of hope and loss. Despite these physical and physiological changes, normal ghouls still retain their cognitive abilities and personalities, albeit with varying degrees of mental deterioration. They are capable of forming relationships, exhibiting emotions, and recollecting memories of their pre-ghoul lives. However, the psychological toll of their transformation cannot be understated. Many ghouls struggle with their identity, grappling with the loss of their former lives and societal acceptance. The tragic tale of ghouls in the Fallout universe is one of survival, loss, and perseverance. Their physical decay and altered appearance serves as constant reminders of the horrors of the Great War and the lasting consequences of humanity's destructive tendencies. Yet, amidst the decay and desolation, ghouls continue to endure, carving out their place in a hostile world, demonstrating the resilience of the human spirit, even in its most damaged form. Now, while some ghouls manage to retain their cognitive faculties, others undergo a transformation that goes beyond the expected result of ghoulification. For one reason or another, they lose their ability to reason and turn into mindless crazies, or more commonly, feral ghouls. Feral ghouls represent a horrifying twist in the tragic tale of ghouls in the Fallout universe. Unlike their normal ghoul counterparts, feral ghouls have succumbed to a complete loss of cognitive function, reduced to primitive instincts and violent behavior. They are driven solely by an animalistic impulse, making them one of the most terrifying threats in the wasteland. The exact cause of ghoulification leading to the feral state remains a mystery, but we can speculate on several contributing factors. The first potential cause to turn a normal ghoul feral comes from the pain endured during the ghoulification process. The transformation itself is a traumatic experience, with the body decaying and mutating, and the mind grappling with the loss of identity. This immense suffering could potentially trigger a breakdown in cognitive faculties, leading to feralism before even becoming a typical ghoul. The second path to feraldom could come from increased radiation exposure beyond a ghoul's natural immunity level. While normal ghouls possess an enhanced resistance to radiation, prolonged exposure to extremely high doses may push them past their limits, causing irreversible damage to their neurological functions. The overwhelming impact of radiation on the brain could contribute to the loss of reason and the descent into feral madness. And lastly, the isolation and inability to cope with their own condition may hasten the transformation into feral ghouls. Ghouls, already marginalized and often shunned by society, may find themselves cast further adrift due to their decaying appearance and the fear they invoke in others. This societal isolation and despair, combined with the physical deterioration, could push them over the edge, triggering the feral state as a means of self-defense. The appearance of a feral ghoul mirrors that of normal ghouls, with the same discolored, decaying flesh and dead eyes. But the absence of reason and the sheer animalistic aggression set them apart. Their movements are jerky and erratic, their moans and growls a haunting symphony of madness. The transformation from human to ghoul to feral ghoul represents the ultimate tragedy within the Fallout universe. Once individuals with hopes, dreams, and memories, they have now regressed into shells of their former selves. The loss of humanity is complete, leaving behind only a terrifying reminder of the consequences of radiation and the cruel fate that awaits many current ghouls. So we've covered the physiologies of both ghouls and feral ghouls. But what would it feel like to go through this kind of transition? We can quite obviously see the impact of ghoulification just from observing a ghoul. But how would it feel? For that, we can look to some real-life degenerative diseases. The physical deterioration experienced during the transformation into a feral ghoul is a harrowing ordeal, reminiscent of the agonizing realities of certain real-life afflictions. To gain a glimpse into the sensations associated with this process, we can draw parallels with diseases such as rabies, necrosis, and leprosy, all of which result in severe physical deterioration and profound suffering. As a disclaimer, it's important to note that this video is in no way intended to diminish or trivialize the experiences of individuals who suffer from the real-life diseases such as the ones that will be mentioned in this video. Our purpose is to draw parallels between the physical and mental sensations associated with these diseases, and the fictional transformation into a feral ghoul in the Fallout universe. We recognize the gravity of these conditions and offer our sincere empathy and support to any who have been affected. Our intention is solely to explore the concept of ghoulification and its potential effects within the context of the game. Rabies, a viral disease that affects the nervous system, has been described as an experience of intense pain, confusion, and terror. Patients have reported a sensation of excruciating discomfort coursing through their bodies, coupled with a relentless itching and burning sensation at the site of the wound where the infection entered. As the disease progresses, individuals may exhibit erratic behavior and muscle spasms, mirroring the erratic movements of feral ghouls. This parallel serves to underline the distress and torment that accompanies the transition into a feral state. Necrosis, the death of body tissue, offers another chilling comparison to the physical decay experienced by feral ghouls. Individuals suffering from necrotic conditions such as gangrene or necrotizing fasciitis describe feelings of intense pain, foul odors, and the gradual loss of sensation in affected areas. Patient accounts depict the horror of witnessing their own flesh blackening and decaying, with some describing the sensation as if their bodies were being consumed from the inside out. The parallels between these experiences and the rotting, peeling flesh of a feral ghoul underscore the nightmarish reality of the transformation. Leprosy, a chronic infectious disease, has long been associated with disfigurement and the slow deterioration of the body. Patients with leprosy often report a loss of sensation in their extremities, leading to injuries and infections that go unnoticed. The progressive damage to the nerves and subsequent tissue loss result in disfiguring ulcers, limb deformities, and the loss of fingers and toes. This mirrors the skeletal, emaciated appearance of feral ghouls and serves as a reminder of the physical devastation endured during the transition. The physical sensation of transforming into a feral ghoul can only be imagined, but by drawing parallels with real-life degenerative diseases, we can begin to grasp the agony and degradation experienced by these individuals. The pain, itching, burning, and gradual loss of bodily functions provide a haunting glimpse into the torment of the transformation. It is a descent into a realm of suffering where the body betrays its former self, leaving behind a shell of decay and anguish. While the physical deterioration endured by feral ghouls is undeniably agonizing, their mental state plunges even further into despair. As the body deteriorates, so too does the mind. But what would this really feel like? Well, again, like the physical side of things, to grasp the anguish endured during this mental downfall, we can draw comparisons with real-life mental degenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's, Lewy body dementia, and cerebral small vessel disease. These afflictions offer insights into the cognitive deterioration experienced by ghouls turning feral and the devastating toll it takes on their minds. A reminder of the disclaimer, making the connection between these real and damaging diseases and ghoulification only serves to illustrate the sensations one might experience during the transformation to a feral ghoul. Alzheimer's disease, a progressive neurodegenerative disorder, manifests as memory loss, confusion, and a decline in cognitive abilities. Individuals diagnosed with Alzheimer's often describe a gradual loss of memory and cognitive function, leaving them disoriented and detached from their own identities. They struggle to recognize loved ones, remember important details, and navigate even the simplest of tasks. Similarly, the mental regression experienced by ghouls turning feral robs them of their memories, personal histories, and any semblance of rational thought. Their identities are lost, replaced by a haze of confusion and instinctual drives. Lewy body dementia, another debilitating condition, combines the elements of both Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. This disease results in visual hallucinations, motor impairments, and fluctuations in alertness and attention. Patients with Lewy body dementia may experience vivid and distressing hallucinations, adding to the confusion and chaos of their mental state. Their cognitive functions become increasingly impaired, leading to episodes of irrational behavior and a loss of self-awareness. The unpredictable and erratic behavior of feral ghouls mirror the disorienting and bewildering experiences endured by those with Lewy body dementia, emphasizing the nightmarish aspects of the transformation. Cerebral small vessel disease, a condition that affects the small blood vessels in the brain, can lead to cognitive decline, mood changes, and difficulty with decision-making and planning. Individuals suffering from this disease often express frustration and a sense of helplessness as their cognitive abilities diminish. Their personalities may undergo significant alterations, and they struggle to maintain their sense of self. This mirrors the mental regression experienced by feral ghouls as they lose their ability to reason, form coherent thoughts, and maintain their sense of identity. While accounts of these real-life mental degenerative diseases cannot precisely capture the experiences of becoming a feral ghoul and vice versa, they provide glimpses into the profound mental turmoil endured by these unfortunate individuals. The parallels highlight the tragic nature of the transformation, as ghouls who were once capable of complex emotions, social interactions, and memories are reduced to mindless creatures driven by primal instincts. Through the process of turning feral, ghouls become victims of their own minds, losing touch with the very essence of humanity. Within the Fallout universe, the transformation from a normal ghoul to a feral ghoul stands as one of the most horrific ways to go. While ghouls retain a semblance of their former selves, bearing the physical scars of the transformation, feral ghouls represent a tragic descent into mindless madness. The physical deterioration endured by ghouls is agonizing, with rotting flesh and decaying bodies reminiscent of real-life degenerative diseases. Yet it is the mental downfall that truly makes the act of going feral a fate worse than death. What were once people eking out an existence have now experienced profound loss of reason, memory, and self-awareness. Stripped of their humanity, feral ghouls become trapped in a state of mindless aggression, their body overridden by primal instinct. While feral ghouls are very much alive in a certain sense of the word, any shred of humanity that once existed within their post-human shell is gone. While it may not be death in a traditional sense, turning feral is one of the worst ways to go. Thanks for listening. If you liked the video, be sure to share and subscribe. Have a good rest of your day. Cheers.
Please, I want you to have it.
Go ahead.
Hi, Daddy. When are you coming home?
You work too much. I want you to read to me again. Mommy says you're helping all the horsies find good homes. Take care of them, okay? I love you.